My name is George Steele, and I'm the General Manager and Artistic Director of New York City Opera. Well, New York City Opera has a history of reaching out to new audiences and bringing new people to the theater to watch opera, to enjoy opera. Part of that is by making sure that our tickets are affordable for young people, so the starting price for a ticket at New York City Opera is $12. And in fact, a quarter of the tickets we sold last season were $25 or less. So we believe very strongly in affordability and also doing repertoire that's of interest to young people now, like Leonard Bernstein's opera A Quiet Place, which had never been done in New York, and in fact has drawn a very large and very young crowd to watch it. It goes without saying that young audiences are the future of opera. They are the future of everything, after all, and getting opera passed on to a new generation of composers and singers and conductors and audience members is the most important thing we can do. Well, I was very happy that the Brooklyn Youth Chorus joined our own children's chorus here at the New York City Opera for a concert of Leonard Bernstein's music, his vocal music, and the concert had classical pieces like his Cottage Symphony, excerpts from Mass, and those are works which cross genres. They require two totally different kinds of singing. Mass really calls for the children's choir to sound like children, much more Broadway, forward kind of production, and the Cottage Symphony requires a much different vocal color. I think having, for young people to be trained in a lot of different kinds of music making is ideal. I mean, we live in a musically polyglot universe, and more flute players are playing Boccherini, but they're also playing in electronic flute duos. Opera singers are moonlighting in rock bands. We have composers like John Zorn who are writing punk music and surf music and violin concertos and string quartets. It's just the time to be able to speak a lot of musical languages and to speak them well. Well, it adds a whole dimension of excitement and enthusiasm and just pure energy to involve a children's chorus in a concert. And at the Bernstein Lucky to Be Me concert, we had our own children's chorus and a large number of members of the Brooklyn Youth Chorus, and it really brought the house down. The Brooklyn Youth Chorus joined us for two selections from Mass, which is a piece the chorus knows very well and sings very well. And they literally filled the aisles with music and energy, and it raised the roof. It was the highlight of the show. Well, I think one of the most important things young people can do to prepare themselves to be so-called classical singers, that learn to be classical singers in a really native way, first is to work on their musicianship when they're young. I mean, the voice, classical voice, matures the latest of all kind of musical gifts. I think even conductors are more persuasive at 22 than baritones, for instance. And so, as young people, singing in a choir is one of the best ways to develop general musicianship, to learn a lot of repertoire, to learn about ensemble and collective music making. In terms of existing as a potential classical musician in a world that's so glutted with the popular music styles, I think singers need to fill their ears all the time with musicians from a lot of different genres. It's too easy to settle on a particular set of vocal tics that are current, in 2011, but totally outdated by 2012. There's a lot of unhealthy vocal production that goes on in pop music making, and young people tend to learn by emulating singers that they admire. One can't only emulate Lady Gaga, one must also emulate Joyce DiDonato and other singers of all kinds of styles. So I think it's important to keep your ears open, to keep your heart and mind open, always to learn and to realize that in a world where you hear songs that have been studio processed, the idea is that there's one perfect performance, and it's that one on CD. But in fact, the opposite is true of classical music, that there's one score and thousands of perfect performances. And creativity and openness and sensitivity are what bring those wonderful potential performances to life.